Hello, you guys. So I made a video earlier today about how women do not benefit from hookup culture, but they're doing it. So many of them are doing it. Am I just like some old prude that missed the boat? Well, I talked about thriving, and another way to explain it to everyone is that people do many things that go against their thriving and their nature. I'm going to give you some examples, especially young people. I'm going to give you examples of things that people do very commonly that are a sign of not having your life together and that are a sign that you're not thriving. One, going to the bar and getting drunk because you're going to wake up with a hangover, you might have a blackout, you might get a DUI, and there are a lot of young people that get drunk. They go to parties, they get drunk, but that just because they do it doesn't mean it's healthy or that they're thriving. Number two, getting into debt. So many people are in debt. Now, I'm not going to talk about the people who are in debt because they can't afford food or gas. Let's talk about the people going to debt to go on vacations, buy expensive cars, remodel their homes that they don't need to. Sure, they can get into debt, but is it wise? Are they thriving? Are they fulfilled in that? So those are just two examples that came to mind from making this video. And just because women are going around hooking up does not mean that they're thriving, that they're fulfilled from it. Okay? Just because it's going on doesn't mean that it's healthy for women or that they're thriving in it. I also want to clarify that I think sperm is extremely valuable. Sperm is just as valuable as an egg. It's valuable. It creates life. There's life in it. There's life force in it. And a man is just as valuable as a woman. However, there is zero investment required for a guy to release his sperm into a woman. So when a man and a woman are having intercourse, a man has zero consequences or risks for pregnancy, much less likely to get an STD, much less likely to get emotionally entangled, but the risk of pregnancy for a man is zero. He has zero pregnancy risk. Zero risk of getting pregnant, giving birth, lactating, zero. He's just spilling his seed. That's what I'm talking about. No investment required. For a woman, there's a huge investment because the egg is receiving. The egg is receiving. And so unless the woman is very choosy about which sperm she's receiving and about the man whose sperm it is, her life can change for the worse. For the worse. Just look at every woman who has a child where the dad took off or the dad is a piece of shit. Just look at it. The world is full of single mothers. Every single mother that never had a husband, the guy that just took off, is because she didn't get this message. We ought to spread the word to women that it's not empowering to go around just hooking up. You know what is empowering? Selectivity and standards. Selectivity and graciousness. Selectivity is extremely empowering to women. Being able to choose who we have sex with, that's empowering. And being kind to men, that's empowering. I think a lot of feminists are very mean to men. They're very nasty, like those videos about, I'm not going to go on a coffee date. These women are very entitled and very angry. I would not put up with that, guys. If a woman doesn't want to meet you for, if I were a guy and she doesn't want to meet me for a coffee date, go hit the door, girl. You know, if you're not interested in getting to know me, unless I like buy you, are you going to fuck me if I take you to dinner? You know, it's ridiculous. So again, just because someone can do something doesn't mean it's good for them. Just because you can go into debt to buy a car doesn't mean it's good for your finances. It's not going to help you raise your credit score. Just because you can get drunk every night doesn't mean it's good for your health, your emotional well-being, your productivity the next day, or your fitness, or your health, or your sense of well-being. Just because you can take antidepressants instead of dealing with your underlying issues doesn't mean that you're going to thrive. So I'm talking about thriving. And also, I'm really big into embodiment. I'm really, really big into embodiment. Embodiment is like using our feelings as guides as to what is good for us. And our feelings will tell us. And women intuitively want to feel safe and comfortable with the man, and intuitively want to be with the man who will be there for her in case she gets pregnant. Intuitively, because birth control can fail, and it often does. Intuitively. I think that there are women that just go around hooking up, but I think that they're damaged, or they yet haven't discovered it, or they haven't gotten this message. You know, they're told that they can be just like men. In fact, men are told they can become women. It's very, very strange. By the way, the Democratic National Convention is going on today. Have you seen all the police there and all the barricades up? Jimmy Dore was just walking through downtown Chicago, several miles from the convention. And the streets are barricaded off. I guess it's like a rich neighborhood because the rich people don't want protesters. And when you see all the police presence and all the gates, you wonder why they don't do that at the border. But I'm also wondering why the Republicans don't have that. I think that Trump represents to the Republicans, even though he's a warmonger too, and he enriched himself and he does all that crooked stuff. I think he represents more like the populism, like the Tea Party, like the grassroots. People feel like he's on their side. He's like a populist. Or at least he comes across as a populist. People feel he's a populist. And so they're excited about him. Like just the way that people were excited about Obama. Although Obama was just a con job. He did nothing for the blacks. He did nothing. He was like, we're going to change. I kept thinking, what are you going to change? And how are you going to change it? People were just so gullible. But he enlivened people in a way. They were excited. People have that same excitement about Trump. Now, why don't people have that same excitement about Biden and Kamala? I think they represent the establishment, and people are angry at the establishment. They feel the establishment has let them down, especially economically. A lot of the elections are about the economy. Now, some of it is about the war in Gaza. I don't know if the Republicans realize that Trump is just going to keep that going. They don't realize that. You know, they're going to be surprised that Trump is still going to send weapons to Israel. None of that is going to change. But they feel like he's got their back. He wants to do something against immigration. He's out there among the people, talking to them. You know, he seems like approachable. Whereas Kamala is like, and Joe have been hiding in the basement. And people are unhappy with the policies of the establishment. So that's why I think there's a lot of discontent in our country against the people being neglected and money going to the rich and for wars while we're all being neglected. And that's coming out at the DNC Convention. I think it's just people are unhappy. Now, I think protesting is good. Through protests, we let our voices be heard. We're supposed to protest and have free speech. It has to be peaceful. Peaceful protest. Protesting like the truckers did during the lockdown in Canada. Peaceful protest to make our voices heard, to express ourselves, to let our politicians who are supposed to represent us know how we feel is important. But there's also something going on, and other people have covered this, other journalists have covered this. It's also, I think, in the CIA files, that a lot of times what the government will do is infiltrate different groups and to cast, it's like knowledge war. They'll infiltrate various groups and cause a chaos and then say that group is bad. So you got to watch out for that. Apparently that happened during January 6th. I didn't even rule. I wasn't following the whole January 6th, but a week ago I was kind of listening to something about it, and I'm like, that's what happened. So you have to watch for that. I think that happened during the campus riots too, with Free Palestine. But anyway, getting back to the topic at hand is that just because people can do something doesn't mean it's good for them. Just because you can smoke meth and be homeless and shoot up heroin doesn't mean you're going to thrive. And that's what hookup culture is like for women. It's like becoming a meth addict or heroin addict or getting drunk every night or going into debt or not being responsible or not paying your bills. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Doesn't mean you're going to thrive. And that's what women usually talk about is, I did all that and I had issues. I did all that and I wasn't thriving. I did all that, but it came out of my trauma. I did all that, but I had to drink to do it and I became more and more depressed. That's what women will actually say. Okay? So that's my point with that video that I made earlier today. And again, my name is Shahrzad Morgan. The Persian way to pronounce it is Shahzad. And the way I spell it is German spelling. The SCH is a German sound for sh, because I'm from Germany. So that's how I spell in Germany. If I would have been born in the U.S., my name would not have the C in it. It would have just been S-H-A. But Shah means king, and Zad I think means daughter. It means princess. It's a beautiful name, and I say Shahrzad, but Iranian people say Shahzad. And I had a Persian last name when I was born. I legally changed my name after my divorce to Morgan. So I was like so tired of having a Persian difficult first name and difficult last name. Like, I'm going to come up with the easiest name I can. And I saw this. I'm like, I want to name myself after a beautiful black stallion. So I went on the internet and I looked at a bunch of pictures of horses. And I saw this beautiful black stallion with the shiny black hair. He was so fine. I'm like, yes. And it's a Morgan horse. Morgan. That's how I came up with Morgan. So you got to look up Morgan horses. And I'm not even into horses. They scare me, but it was such a beautiful horse. And like that's an easy name. So it just took me 5 minutes to come up with the name. Thank you so much for watching my video. And I'm going to keep watching the DNC Convention. There's so much drama going on. There's a U-Haul at the White House. Now they're saying, is Joe Biden going to be removed? The GOP came out with an impeachment report on him today on the day of the convention, inconveniently timed. Are they going to oust him? And then a lot of people are saying Michelle Obama is Big Mike, like that she's really trans. I mean, I've heard that for so long. I'm like, could that really be true? I mean, she's big boned, but so is the tennis player, Serena, the tennis player. She's big boned. She looks like a man to me. She looks like a man. You know, some women are just big boned. That happens. But, you know, a lot of people are calling Michelle Obama Big Mike. But Michelle Obama has she has a grace about her and elegant. She knows how to speak. And she dresses very well. She's elegant and classy, and she wears bright, beautiful colors. Kamala dresses like a dumpster fire. Kamala has no idea how to dress. She wears these big, dumpy jackets, these overly loose pants. Like, she has no sense of style. Kamala has no sense of style. And now people are saying the reason her voice was so slurred all the time and she's cackling like a hyena all the time is she's an alcoholic and a drug addict. And I'm like, oh my God, maybe she is an alcoholic. That's why they hide her. That's why she makes no sense. She could be an alcoholic that's constantly drunk, like the happy mom. And a lot of her stuff is about, we're joyful, we're happy. Because she cackles, so they're like, let's just use this in our favor, her cackling and her drunk laughing. So watching all this stuff is like, who needs a soap opera? We have the Democrats. By the way, I think both parties are corrupt, but They're both going to keep the war going. They're not going to address the national debt. They're going to do tax cuts for the rich. They're going to protect Wall Street, Big Pharma, the military-industrial complex. They're not going to address any of the healthcare issues. And most of the healthcare problems are caused by people eating crappy, over-processed foods. It's nothing to do with healthy fats. It's too much sugar and over-processed foods. That's why people are so sick. All they had to do is some public service announcements. But no one's going to make money off of healthy people. So they're all corrupt, in my opinion. And then you get someone who's a third-party candidate. They have no chance. They sue you. They have so much money. The Democrats sued Kennedy. They got him off the ballot in New York. They don't want the competition. They don't care about us. They just want the power. Once you lose your power, you become irrelevant. You're nobody. All the people in Biden's administration, they're going to be a nobody. When they're out. Nobodies. Limelight is off you. You just become a nobody. Nobody wants to be a nobody. Thanks for watching my video.